I wasn't really much into sports, but I had an older brother, and I always did what he did, and he got into martial arts, and so I wanted to be just like him. You know, growing up we used to watch, we were kind of movie buffs and like comic book nerds, you know, so we'd watch Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles and all Mortal Kombat. I probably started when I was about 10, and yeah, I mean, once I got into it, I fell in love with it, and it became a passion of mine, and once I really understood what it was all about, it kind of became a part of my life. I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for martial arts. It did. You know, growing up, I didn't have any forefront teeth until I was 8, and then when my teeth did come in, they were jacked up, and then I had braces all the way through high school, you know, and so I had to learn at an early age that, you know, looks wasn't everything. You know, having a good personality and being outgoing was a big part of life, you know, and making friends. And when I got into martial arts, so I made a lot of friends, but I always was kind of like the yes man, you know. I was always like, I said yes to everybody because I wanted everybody to be happy, and sometimes I became a pushover, you know, and doing martial arts gave me the confidence and the ability to stand up for myself, and kind of grounded me as a person. I figured, you know, if I'm going to be an instructor or a teacher, I have to be taken seriously, so I have to kind of put myself through the ringer, you know. So I was really good at the artistic side of it, then I needed to start doing the more combative side of it. So when I went to Thailand, I started training the Muay Thai, and then I came back and started like doing the kickboxing circuits and stuff like that. I really had no idea about MMA, and then I started training with Donald Cerrone, and he kind of was like, you want to make this your career, there's really no money in kickboxing, like, so let's get you into MMA. It's addicting. I mean, I don't think you'll ever feel anything like the adrenaline that you do when you go into a fight. It definitely is a roller coaster. I mean, you train so hard for 15-25 minutes of a fight, you know. You're getting in the cage, you know that the person across from you has trained just as hard as you have, and they close the cage behind you. You can't crawl out, you can't say no, you know. It's kind of like being in labor, you can't turn back. But it's an adrenaline rush, you know. You get nervous, you kind of zone out, you hear ringing. I think the scariest part for me is walking out, and I mean, because it's just like, it's that fear of the unknown, you know. As soon as the first punch is thrown, then everything is just kind of like, okay, we're fighting. You know? I was really excited for my first fight. I didn't know what to expect. I was kind of like, yeah, we're going to fight, it's going to be cool, you know. And sometimes I wish I still had that type of excitement now. But I think as, you know, as I've had more fights, you're kind of like, you know what to expect. So then you're kind of like, oh, I could get hurt, you know. But the fear that I get for me, I guess, is not being able to show the world what my capabilities are. Like that, I guess that's my fears, is not like opening up and showing everybody what I've trained so hard to do. MMA to me is mixed martial arts. It's a form of martial arts. I grew up doing martial arts. It's a way of life, you know. When I stopped fighting while I was pregnant, I related a lot of the things that happened to me in life back to fighting, and I think that's what martial arts does for a lot of people, is it kind of like puts things in perspective when it comes to living your life. And you know, if you can come in here and push yourself and get beat up in here, and then come in here the next day, it just makes you that much of a stronger person, so that when you're out, you know, and you get a bad grade in school, you don't get discouraged. You go back, you study, and you go in and you work harder. Everything translates to, you know, your everyday life. You can be strong in the gym, you can be strong outside. Here at Jackson's, we have a very, very huge support system, and Coach Jackson, Coach Winklejohn, Coach Mike Valley, they're all very supportive of me being a mother, and they don't mind when I bring her in, and she's kind of in here watching everybody spar, you know, wiping the sweat off people's chins and stuff. So they're very supportive, and they want me to go after my dreams as much as, you know, the next person. And so as long as I can put in the work, then they're fine with me, you know, being a mom. And that's the thing, you just kind of have to make the time. Like before I had her, I really didn't have any responsibilities, so it was just kind of like, okay, well, I can train, and then I can nap, and then I can eat on my own time, but you really don't have that luxury as a mother. You don't you don't get to say when we're napping because they're up, or you know, when you do train, you just have to kind of focus in and give it all you got, because you really don't have much time outside of that. I think the best thing that I've learned as a mother is to kind of teach by example. You know, I can tell her to do something, I can show her to do something, but if I do it with her and she follows in my footsteps, I think that's the best way of her learning, you know. So if I can show her by example how to live a good life, then I think that I am doing an okay job.